Welcome to Power of Numbers. This is Shumaila Bhatti, and in this tutorial we will be conducting a one-way ANOVA and a post hoc Tukey test. Analysis of variance is a statistical method used to compare the means of multiple groups to determine if at least one group differs significantly. When ANOVA finds a significant difference, a post hoc test like Tukey's honest significant difference test helps identify which specific groups differ. And in this tutorial, we will be performing a one-way ANOVA using R and then a post hoc Tukey test. So let us navigate to R. In this first section, we will be using the mRNIAF1 and the political recode to create an ANOVA model. This ANOVA model will be applied to this function. This is our data set, and we will be naming this model res.aov. As we run this model, we will be able to determine the summary results of this model by using the summary function and the name of our model. This shows that according to the p-value 0.001 at significance level of alpha 0.001, our political recoded groups have significant differences for the variable mRNIAF1. To determine which groups are significantly different, we will be using the Tukey HSC test. And to do that, we will use this function and apply it to the model that we had created using ANOVA. We will call this TRES because why not? In the Tukey HSC test, we can now extract the information on the difference in the variation between moderate and liberals, conservative and liberals, conservative and moderate, and their lower and upper confidence intervals and their p-adjusted values for the groups for the variable mRNIAF1. We can save this as a data frame, and we will call it a differences plot because we want to look at it as a visual plot if you want to look at it as a visual plot. So for a visual plot, you will save it as a data frame, the differences output, but we want this part, the names of the political recoded column, as a separate column. So we will be using the row names to column function and calling that column political orientation. ggplot is a very diverse function that can be used to plot so many different types of figures, and it is definitely something you should look into further to develop your skills in data visualization. Question mark ggplot and parentheses, and it will show you different ways of mapping the data and what potential things you can do with it. You can also Google online or search online the ways you can use the ggplot as a cheat sheet. You can use ggplot to create some interesting figures. So we will be using the input differences plot that we have created here, and we will be using the political orientation on the x-axis. On the y-axis, we will be using the differences in the mean column here. On the y-minimum, we'll be using the lower confidence interval, and the y-maximum will be using the upper confidence interval. And the geom error bar mapping style is what we will be using. And the plus sign is important because that is how you add a layer over a layer of the ggplot mapping aesthetic. And this is how your plots will appear. You can save it as an image, and you can navigate to your directory and go and save it as an image over there. And you can identify the aspect ratio and the type of figure you want to save it as. To determine what the means are for each of these groups, you can use the aggregate function, which is also a very important function that you will most likely be using if you're planning on using R for your future projects. MRNIAF1 by the group political recode, we will be using the function mean. We will be determining the group means of all of these political recode, and the data input is going to be from this one. So as we run this function, we will see that we have political recode on this side, and on this side you have the means for the variable MRNIAF1. I hope that tutorial was helpful for ANOVA, and I hope to see you in the next one.